The Deep Space Monitoring Station orbiting Kepler 442b goes silent at 0347. Terran Standard Time. No distress signal. No final transmission. Just ... nothing. Admiral Marcus Kane stares at the tactical display in Terra Command's war room. Red markers bloom across the holographic star map, light infection, spreading through healthy tissue. That's the 4th colony this month, reports Lieutenant Torres, his voice tight with controlled anger. The Hegemony fleet hit them hard and fast. No survivors. Kane's weathered face remains stone. 20 years of deep space warfare have carved patience into his bones, but his knuckles whiten around his coffee cup. Pattern analysis. Same as before. Sir. Vorthan shock troops, Kaleri support vessels, Nixtai heavy cruisers. They're testing our response times, probing for weakness. The holographic display shifts, showing the alien coalition's fleet movements. 12 species united under the Galactic Hegemony's banner, all convinced that humanity is just another primitive species ripe for conquest. They've been wrong before. Kane sets down his cup and activates the long-range communicator. Open a channel to the Hegemony flagship. Sir, are you certain? Protocol suggests open the channel. The air shimmers. A grotesque alien face materializes. Overlord Thaxon of the Vorthans, 6 eyes gleaming with predatory satisfaction. Behind him, the command bridge of the massive dreadnought Eternal Dominion bustles with alien crew members. Ah, the human admiral wishes to surrender. Thaxon's translator renders his hissing speech into clipped English. How refreshing. Your species learns quickly. Kane's expression doesn't shift. This is Admiral Marcus Kane of the Terran Defense Fleet. I'm transmitting a message on behalf of Earth and all human colonies. Spare me your desperate pleas. Your outer colonies burn because you refuse to kneel. Submit to Hegemony rule, and perhaps will allow your species to serve as laborers. Kane reaches for a datapad. His fingers move with deliberate precision, typing a message that'll echo across the galaxy. This is humanity's final diplomatic communication. The transmission begins broadcasting on all frequencies. Every ship, every station, every inhabited world in the sector receives the same cold message. Official notice from Earth's Central Command to Galactic Hegemony forces cessation of hostilities, halt your attacks, or courtesy ends. Terra Command out Thaxons. Mandibles click in what passes for laughter among his species. Courtesy. You primitives believe you've been showing us courtesy. Around the alien bridge, crew members join in their overlord's amusement. Vorthan warriors, Kaleri tacticians, Nixtai weapons specialists, all finding humor in humanity's apparent desperation. Your 12 colonies have fallen to our might. Your defensive fleets scatter before our advance. And now you threaten us. Thaxon leans forward, his multiple eyes focusing on Kane. What exactly will you do when your courtesy ends? Kane closes the datapad. You'll find out. The transmission cuts. Silence settles over Terra Command's war room like a shroud. Junior officers exchange nervous glances. Even Torres looks uncertain. Sir, the Hegemony fleet outnumbers us 8-1. Their technology is adequate. Kane finishes, but they've made a critical error. Which is? Kane turns to the tactical display, watching red markers advance toward the Sol system. They think we've been trying. Deep in the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter, something massive stirs. The mining platform designation Cerberus 7 has been operational for 47 years. 2 passing ships. It appears to be exactly what it claims: an automated or processing facility, mining rare metals from asteroid fragments. The Hegemony scouts catalogued it months ago as a low-priority target. Industrial infrastructure, minimal defensive value, not worth the ammunition to destroy. They were catastrophically wrong. Beneath Cerberus 7's unremarkable exterior, fusion reactors the size of city blocks hum to life. Weapons systems that violate 17 different galactic peace treaties extend from hidden bays. And at its heart, an artificial intelligence awakens from decades of patient sleep. Athena-class strategic AI reporting for duty. The synthetic voice echoes through Terra Command. All Phoenix Protocol assets are operational and awaiting orders. Kane allows himself a thin smile. Execute Phoenix. Show them what courtesy looks like. The asteroid belt erupts. Cerberus 7 wasn't alone. Hidden throughout the solar system, disguised as mining platforms, research stations, and communication relays, dozens of identical facilities reveal their true nature. Each one houses weapons that humanity spent 70 years developing in absolute secrecy. Weapons designed not for conquest, but for the complete annihilation of any force foolish enough to threaten Earth. The Hegemony's advanced fleet never sees it coming. Overlord Faxon is reviewing tactical reports when his ship's proximity alarms shriek. On the main display, space itself seems to tear open as massive railguns emerge from what his sensors had identified as empty void. Impossible. There's nothing there. Contact, his sensor operator screams. Multiple signatures emerging from stealth. They're everywhere. The first salvo from the Phoenix platforms travels at 17% of light speed. Tungsten core, projectiles weighing 3 tons each, accelerated through magnetic fields, more powerful than those found in star cores. The lead Hegemony cruiser, the Righteous Conquest, simply ceases to exist. One moment it's there. The next, it's an expanding cloud of superheated plasma. Evasive maneuvers, Thaxon roars, return, fire. But the Phoenix platforms were designed by humans who had studied every alien engagement for 50 years. They know exactly how the Hegemony ships move, how their weapons track, how their shields function. More importantly, they know how to kill them. The second wave isn't kinetic, it's something far worse. Nanite swarms, released from torpedo-like delivery systems, spread through the enemy formation like a plague. These aren't ordinary nanobots, they're replicators, designed to identify alien technology and disassemble it at the molecular level. The glorious Victory watches its armor plating dissolve before its crew's terrified eyes. The Supreme Dominance finds its weapon systems literally eating themselves. Sir, we're taking massive casualties. Thaxon's communications officer reports, her voice cracking with panic. 60% of the advanced fleet is gone. How? How are they doing this? On his screen, new contacts appear. Not platforms this time, ships. Human vessels unlike anything in Hegemony data. They look wrong. Too angular, too aggressive. Like someone took the concept of a warship and stripped away everything that wasn't designed to kill. This is Captain Rivera of the TDF Harbinger. The transmission crackles through the chaos. You have 15 seconds to surrender before we stop being polite. Thaxon's multiple eyes narrow. His pride, the pride of a species that has conquered hundreds of worlds, refuses to bend. You think your tricks frighten us? We are the Hegemony. We are the human ships. Open fire. The weapons are unlike anything the aliens have encountered. They don't follow the standard energy projectile patterns that dominate galactic warfare. Instead, they fire streams of matter that shouldn't exist, exotic particles that ignore conventional shielding and tear through hulls like they're made of paper. The Eternal Dominion shudders as something punches through its primary armor belt. Atmosphere rushes out in silver streams, and half the bridge crew is sucked into the void before emergency barriers activate. Impossible, Thaxon whispers. This violates every physical law in the galaxy. Captain, we're detecting massive energy readings from the human vessels. His science officer reports. They're using controlled antimatter streams. How are they containing them? The answer comes from the Harbinger's next transmission. Courtesy was us following your rules. Now we play by ours. The human ships advance with mechanical precision. Each movement is calculated, purposeful, lethal. There's no wasted energy, no hesitation. They fight like machines designed for one purpose, ending threats permanently. But it's not just their technology that terrifies the Hegemony forces. It's their tactics. Every ship that tries to retreat finds its escape route blocked by platforms that shouldn't exist. Every formation that attempts to regroup is torn apart by weapons that materialize from empty space. Every desperate gambit is countered before it can be implemented. They knew, Thaxon realizes with growing horror. They knew exactly how we would attack. The realization hits him like a physical blow. For months, the Hegemony has been studying human responses, learning their patterns, exploiting their apparent weaknesses. But humans had been studying too. Every battle, every skirmish, every probe had been carefully observed. The humans had let their colonies burn, let their fleets retreat, let the Hegemony believe they were winning, all while preparing for this moment. Sir, emergency transmission from the remaining fleet elements. His communications officer calls out. They're requesting immediate withdrawal. Denied. We don't retreat from primitives. But even as he speaks, Thaxon knows the battle is lost. The Hegemony's technological advantage means nothing when faced with an enemy that has spent decades preparing for this exact scenario. Another wave of human ships appears. These ones even stranger than the first. They don't look built, they look grown. Organic curves blending with metallic surfaces in ways that hurt to observe. Biomechanical hybrids. The science officer breathes. They're using living ships. The organic vessels move like predators, flowing through space with an alien grace that no machine should possess. When they fire, their weapons don't emerge from guns, they're secreted from biological ports, streams of corrosive acid that eat through armor and hull alike. This is Captain Singer, the TDF Chimera. Comes the transmission. Any vessel that hasn't surrendered in 30 seconds will be boarded. Boarded. The word sends ice through Thaxon's veins. The Hegemony has detailed reports about human boarding actions accounts that their analysts had dismissed as propaganda. Now, watching the organic ships attach themselves to crippled Hegemony vessels like parasites, Thaxon begins to understand that the reports weren't exaggerated. They were conservative. The screams start coming through the emergency channels. Crew members on the boarded ships, their voices filled with absolute terror, describing things that couldn't be real. Humans in powered armor that adapted to alien weapons soldiers who fought with a viciousness that bordered on feral. Tactics that ignored conventional rules of engagement in favor of psychological warfare designed to break enemy morale completely. "Sir, we need to retreat," his tactical officer pleads. "We've lost 80% of our fleet. This isn't a battle anymore, it's a massacre." Thaxon's pride crumbles. Around him, his crew warriors from 12 different species, veterans of 100 conquests campaigns, look at him with eyes full of fear. Fear of humans. "Open a channel to the human fleet," he whispers. The response comes immediately, as if they'd been waiting for his surrender. Admiral Kane's face appears on the screen, his expression unchanged from their first conversation. "Overlord I trust you've had time to consider our message." "Admiral Kane," Thaxon's voice cracks slightly. We were not aware of your full capabilities. That was the point." The simple statement carries more weight than any threat. Behind Kane, Thaxon can see Terra Command's warroom.com and professional despite the carnage they've just unleashed. "What are your terms?" Thaxon asks. Kane leans forward slightly. "Unconditional withdrawal from all human territory, reparations for the colonies you destroyed, and a formal apology to the families of every human you killed." "And if we refuse?" Kane's expression finally changes, has a slight tightening around the eyes that somehow manages to be more terrifying than any alien war cry. "Then we stop playing defense." The implications hang in the air like a death sentence. Thaxon looks around his ruined bridge, at the wreckage of what was supposed to be an unstoppable fleet, at the proof that humanity had been holding back while their colonies burned, while their people died, while their enemies assumed they were weak. "We accept your terms," he whispers. "Excellent. You have 24 hours to begin withdrawal. Any Hegemony vessel still in human space. After that deadline will be destroyed without warning." The transmission ends, leaving Thaxon alone with the aftermath of his species' greatest mistake. Around the Sol system, the Phoenix platforms begin to retract into their hiding places. The human fleet melts back into the void, disappearing as quickly as they had appeared. But their message remains, broadcasted across every frequency in the galaxy. "Halt your attacks or courtesy ends." Now the galaxy knows what human courtesy looks like, and they pray they never see what happens when it ends.